Good afternoon, students. How are you? I hope you all are fine. As we have started this chapter, Poverty as Challenge. In the previous module, we have covered the topic up to the interstate disparity of poverty. So, here in this, we'll discuss some more topics. So, let us see one by one. The first, here we are going to discuss about the global poverty scenario. So here we'll discuss what is the poverty condition all over the world. The proportion of people in different countries living in extreme economic poverty, defined by the World Bank as living on less than $1.9 per day. As in our country, that poverty is defined on the basis of calorie requirement and the money required about 845 rupees. So here dollar $1.9 per day per person is taken to define the poverty and has fallen from means earlier whatever the poverty condition was there, that has come down from 36% in 1990s to 10% in 2015. So means according to this data, it is showing that the all over the world whatever poverty condition is there, that extreme poverty, economic poverty has declined from 36% to 10% in 2015. Although there has been a substantial reduction in global poverty, it is marked with great regional differences. Regional differences, that region to region, whatever the poverty is declining, that varies. Poverty declined substantially in China and Southeast Asian countries as a result of rapid economic growth of these countries. Wherever the poverty declined, their economic growth was very fast and massive investment in human resource development. Already we have discussed in many classes that human resource development is a most important criteria to solve the problem of poverty. Number of poor in China has come down from 88% in 1981 to 14% in 2002 and to 0.7% in 2015. See how fast decline is there and how they have come to this lower percentage of poverty, 0.7% in 2015. In the countries of South Asia, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, the decline has also been rapid, that 34% in 2005 to 16% in 2013. With decline in percentage of poor, the number of poor has also declined significantly from 510 million in 2005 to 274 million in 2013. Means not only the percent is declining of poor people or poverty, the magnitude, the number of people are also declining as the population is growing, always growing. So, along with the decline in percentage, even the larger population, the poor people are decreasing in numbers. And because of different poverty line definition, poverty in India is also shown higher than national estimates. In sub-Saharan Africa, poverty in fact declined from 51% to 41% in 2015. So in 2005, this was 51%. So in this graph, you can see that sub-Saharan Africa, this yellowish color line, it is declining, showing decline 2005 to 2015. And you can see here up to the 2013, the faster decline was seen, but after 2013, the decline is slower in poverty. In Latin America, the ratio of poverty has also declined from 10% in 2005 to 4% in 2015. Latin America, you can see that Latin America, this sky color line, this is showing how decline is, but these decline are very slow. Poverty has also resurfaced in some of the former socialist countries like Russia, where officially it was non existent earlier. See, in Russia, earlier the poverty was not seen as per their official information. Ki- They were not having poverty in their country, but now the poverty has come to their country. In table 3.2, this table show the shows proportion of people living under poverty in different countries as defined by international poverty line. So see how these countries are having and how much people living in poverty. Nigeria 53%, 53.5% population below $1.9 per day. Bangladesh 14, India 21. So if you see the Bangladesh and India, India is shown here poorer condition than Bangladesh. Pakistan even better condition than India. China, this is about 2011 data. Brazil 3.4, Indonesia China, that's 0.7. Already we had discussed here. Sri Lanka 0.7. The new sustainable development goal of United Nations proposing proposes ending poverty of all types by 2030. That United Nations proposed that according to the sustainable development goals we have to end all types of poverty from the whole world by 2030. So let us see whether we will be able to solve this problem up to the 2030 or not. This is in future. Now here let us discuss the causes of poverty in India. What were the causes of poverty that made India remain poor till this longer period of time? So first one is there were number of causes. What are that? One, historical region is the low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. So under the British administration, colonial administration, whatever the economic condition of our country was there in class 8, very well you have studied how the Britishers exploited our country and in what economic condition they left our country. The policies of colonial government ruined traditional handicrafts and discouraged the development of industries like textiles. Though the textile industry of our country was in well off condition before the Britishers, but they destroyed all. The low rate of growth persisted until the 1980s. Whatever the growth rate of development was there, that continued till 1980s. 1980s means up to the 1989 you can say. 1989. That means up to the 1991 you can say. Means from 1991 we started to develop with a faster rate. Before that it was in very bad condition you can say. And this resulted in less job opportunities and low growth rate of incomes. And this was accompanied by a high growth rate of population. The growth rate of population was also very high, though it started declining from 1981, but that was also not in better condition. The two combined to make the growth rate of per capita income very low, means the low growth rate of income and low growth high growth rate of population both made the growth rate of per capita income very low, as income is increasing very slowly, and population number of people is increasing. So of course the per capita income will be low because per capita income is the GDP divided by population. So this way, this GDP divided by population is the per capita income. So of course, if the GDP size increasing not at a faster rate, means the low GDP divided by high population will make the per capita income very low. The failure of both the fronts, promotion. See, actually, these two fronts, population control and economic growth, these can solve the economic problem, but both failed, and that continued the cycle of poverty. Green Revolution effects were limited to some parts of India, mainly the Punjab and Haryana, or you can say the western states only, northwestern states. The industries, both in public and private sector, were not enough to absorb all job seekers as the economic growth was very low. Population was increasing very fast, so the employment opportunity could not increase as per the requirement. And people unable to find job in cities, many people started working as rickshaw pullers, vendors, construction workers, domestic servant, etc. etc. And with regular small income, these people could not afford expensive housing and started living in slums on the outskirts of the cities. And the problem of poverty, largely a rural phenomena, which was a rural phenomena, also became the feature of urban sector as these people started living in slums on the outskirts of the cities. So the problem which was usually seen in the rural area, that became the feature of urban sector also. So this way, urban area also influenced by the poverty. Another feature of high poverty rate has been the huge income inequality. In our country, the income inequality is a major problem. Some people are earning very high, and most of the people are earning very low. So, this income inequality also became one region of poverty. One of the major reasons for this is unequal distribution of land and other resources. After the independence, whatever the distribution of land was there, that was also not in good condition, and the major policies initiative like land reform which aimed at redistribution of assets in rural area have not been implemented properly and effectively by most of the state government, and because of that the distribution of land remain in poor condition. And since lack of land resource has been one of the major cause of poverty in India, proper implementation of policy could have improved the life of millions of rural people, but that could not take place. And this was a very unfortunate in our country that land redistribution, land reforms were not made effectively, efficiently in our country. Many other socio-cultural economic factors also responsible. Not only the policies are responsible, the people themselves responsible for their poor condition or their poverty. Like, in order to fulfill the obligations, their different type of needs, activities, observe religious ceremonies. People in India, including the very poor, spend a lot of money. A small farmer needs money to buy agricultural inputs like seeds, fertilizer. Means here, if we think all these religious ceremonies, they are very poor condition. The people are in very poor condition, even though they do such expenses anyhow. They are not able to afford it, then also they do such kind of expenditure, and that becomes the reason for their poor condition. A small farmer need money to buy agricultural inputs like seeds, fertilizer, pesticide. These are their main requirement of a small poor farmer. And since these are poor people, hardly have any saving, they borrow. They take borrow loan. And when they are unable to repay because of poverty, they became victim of indebtedness. They fall in the debt trap. So the high level of indebtedness is both cause and effect of poverty. As they fall in debt trap, so this debt trap is again become the reason behind their poor condition. And this indebtedness is cause and effect both. Because of indebtedness, the people will become poor, and if they are poor, there is higher possibility to fall in debt trap. So this was about the today's topics. So some more topics we'll discuss in the next module. Till then, revise the topics discussed here and have a nice day, students. Thank you.